Darko Zeus.
Do you know about this music genre called Zool?
I think you just made it up.
No, I know 100% honesty, I did not.
I do not know of it.
Before I fuck it up, I'm going to give you an official description of Zool.
How could there be an official description?
Well, and by that I mean Wikipedia. Means celestial in Kobayan, the constructed language created by Christian Vander of the band Magma.
Jesus.
Originally solely applied to the music of Magma, the term Zool was eventually used to describe the similar music produced by French bands beginning in the mid-1970s. Typically blends progressive rock, symphonic rock, fusion, neoclassicism, avant rock, and vocal elements of African American spirituals and Western military call and response. I think Zool is like the planet that it comes from, or something like that. It has a crazy, the
whole cosmology for a music genre.
Eerie minimalist trance rock.
Never did.
It's wacky.
I think we've finished this floor.
Yes.
Time to find our way to that other staircase.
That was pretty cool.
Oops.
There's weird. It has like a weird European thing, but then it was also adopted by the Japanese. Those Japanese dual bands, but they like chant in this made-up language, like in the music. Like there's a band called Ruins that does it, but it's just the song will just go like.
It sounds like a really great time.
It's pretty nuts.
My total jam.
Yeah, it's pretty wacky. Weird musical genres.
Yeah, you were just showing me that. What was it called? The
website?
Yeah,
you should totally check this out because it's the coolest thing. It's called Ishkur's Guide to Electronic Music. God bless you, Ishkur. Oh! A merman! You have responded to me. Oh. Okay, well. Did we go down, or?
We went more up.
Oh. If we cannot regain the power of water, we will become bubbles. Holy shit. Okay,
Then disappear.
I need a second. I need a second to process that. Can we just pause real quick?
Yeah.
Go to the bathroom.
Alright. We'll be right back.
We're back.
We're back?
First things first.
First things first.
Wait. No. First things first.
First things first.
What I want everyone to realize is that for the rest of your life, whenever you see bubbles, think that some of those bubbles could be dead mermaids. And then when the bubbles disappear, you forever kill the mermaid out of this world.
You're a mermaid murderer.
Second thing on our honey evening.
Mermaiderer.
We'll just call this our honeymoon. We're drinking Narragansett. Narragansett.
Jesus.
Lovecraft Honey Ale.
I almost stumped this for
Lovecraft Honey Ale. A collaboration with Revival Brewing. It is a honey ale that is designed to celebrate H.P. Lovecraft, who's a good bookman. And we'll clink real quick. Cheers! Cheers.
I think it's delightful.
I like it, actually.
I like it quite a lot. It definitely tastes more like honey than the mead did, to be honest.
Yeah, it does. So the story behind this real quick. It's a perfect tribute to the Dark Prince of Providence, at once both familiar and out of this world, combining 5 pale malts, including honey, and kissed with a touch of hops for a mild herbal finish. The smooth honey ale was inspired by the space mead consumed by the winged Byakhee, who first appeared in H.P. Lovecraft's The Festival. The fictional space mead was taken as a protection from interstellar space travel. Apparently, too, they weren't specifically called the Byakhee in The Festival. It was a later addition to by, if you know the author August Derleth, he was one of Lovecraft's correspondents and proteges, but he kind of had a hand in codifying a lot of the mythology. And there's like some debate in the community. He kind of turns it where Lovecraft's is kind of bizarre and it doesn't really have a clear hierarchy or definition. Kind of shifts a lot. My friend Daryl went to the land, then never returned. I've often wondered what happened. Maybe she grew legs and walked away. Wow.
Female Daryl, for one.
And Daryl potentially grew legs. Just took off her fish bottom. Just slid right out of his pants. Unbelievable. You can breathe underwater? I'm impressed.
I am too.
Well, we came down here to impress people.
Yeah. To impress the ladies.
real quick,
Yeah.
kind of turned this neutral cosmology into a very Christian good versus evil kind of dichotomy.
Really?
But yeah, in some sense, like he made Lovecraft had like the elder gods and the outer gods, and there's kind of a. It wasn't clear. Like he wasn't really about hierarchies and establishing a clear mythology necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of loose, but Derleth kind of turned it into something a little bit more rigid, and I think it's the Derleth kind of system that is present in a lot of the like Call of Cthulhu role-playing games and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The Byakhee are like a monster in that system, and they appear in Derleth stories. Opal glove. But anyway, so this is based on the Space Mead, which is sort of a Lovecraft thing, I guess.
Yeah. That's cool.
It is cool.
It's delicious.
It is very good. Also, yeah. Lovecraft is one of my childhood authors.
Yeah?
Yeah. In, I think middle school I read a lot of Lovecraft because I was a weird child.
I didn't. I always kind of wanted to, but I never did. I don't know why.
I love, I'm a huge devotee of all of the Weird Tales group and the big three, Lovecraft and Robert E. Howard and Clark Ashton Smith.
I'm losing my mind. 68, 58. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm talking right through the numbers. That makes it probably difficult.
My brain.
It's okay. This is really good, actually.
Yeah, I'm super into it.
People on Beer Advocate didn't seem to like it that much, but...
Well, they're dumb.
I think so, too.
I think people on Beer Advocate are often snobs, and they downrate stuff that has no reason to be downrated. Like, so often, the user review average is so below the bros score, and it's just, I don't...
That's true. It's
people.
Yeah, this is nice. It is. I like that. It kind of has a nice honey undercurrent, but it's not like overpoweringly sweet.
Yeah, I like it. It's got a good balance, I think.
Honey is unusual for when you think of Lovecraft, but I like the whole Space Mead thing. Because the Byakhee are supposed to be these, like, he describes them as like not crows, not decomposing corpses, not something, not bats, but some combination of all of these things. And then they can fly through space. Oh,
we got the slab.
I don't remember what that was for. Oh, is it like the Rosetta Stone?
It's a really important key item. It might be the thing that helps us understand those people in that town, though.
We probably bring it to the translator guy, yeah, the professor.
Oh yeah, Professor.
And then he'll use it. Yeah, he'll use it like a Rosetta Stone.
That's really smart. Corey, would you mind looking up the Opal Gauntlet and just see if it does anything as a use item?
Yeah, of course.
I would so greatly appreciate it.
I would love to. Oh, while we were on the break, I played Ryan some Zool, so now he knows that it's a real thing.
Yeah, I hate it.
It's that song that I was singing too. We'll totally link to it. I'm gonna send it to you, Ryan, so you can link to it.
Yeah. Anything you want me to link to, you do have to send it.
It's true. It does help. What am I looking up? Opal
Gauntlet.
Pal Gauntlet. Thanks.
Oh, Pal Gauntlet.
Oh, Pal Gauntlet. Gauntlet. That's a fun game.
There's no fights on this floor, which makes it really hard for me to enjoy this frickin' beer.
I think you can. I think everyone will forgive you if you stop and take a nice sip.
Maybe once there's a piece of dialogue on the screen.
Okay.
Hang on, there's one right here. Please save the sea and make the orb shine again.
Oh, holy shit! Yeah. Wait.
What?
It says the Opal Gauntlet offers the same absorb as the Protection Ring, but without resistance to death, and with 2 more points of evade penalty. Okay, it says you can give them to a knight to save money, but in the long run you are better off using a pro ring.
Yeah, that's what I kind of figured. Pro ring seems really good.
The only other gauntlet you may want anyone to wear is the Zeus Gauntlet for its lit power, though it has 2 less absorb.
But you don't have to wear it, you can just have it in the inventory.
I know. What do you know, Wikia? Where does it, what's that mermaid say? Do they live in these things, or are they imprisoned here? Oh, God.
Yeah.
No.
It's kind of dark. It seems like they're imprisoned.
Asking are we going to become bubbles is the saddest, most strangely innocent and poetic and horrible way to ask, are we going to die?
Yeah, it is pretty brutal. I'm going to assume...
I really want to know what's happened here, honestly. This is kind of, we're
getting there.
We're getting a lot of narrative here.
Oh, this place loops.
What?
Oh. That top right room is the one we went to by going all the way left.
What? This is the shrine's top floor, the Fiend of Water. Kraken lives on the bottom floor. Holy shit.
You pronounce it Kraken?
I guess so.
I said Kraken.
I think I probably used to say Kraken. Why did I say Kraken? I don't know.
I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just... Oh, boo-hoo.
This is really sad, though.
Yeah, but it's kind of sassy, too.
I mean, we get that the...
Like, she's kind of, like, almost admonishing herself for, like, sharing her troubles.
Boo-hoo.
Oh, boo-hoo. Never mind me.
To unlock the Mirage Tower, the life in it use the musical tone.
Okay, so we couldn't have gone to the Mirage Tower yet anyway, because we haven't learned Life-in-ish.
We probably need to get
the
the
slab
to bring to Dr. Onion.
We're getting it. Dr. Onion?
Yeah. So, the Fiend of Earth, right?
Is super dead.
I mean, he totally was kind of eating that town alive, but he didn't seem to do anything directly to people, nor did the Fiend, who was just going to burn everything up, but as yet had done nothing.
Yeah, he'd really done nothing.
Carrie.
The Earth Fiend is the only one that actually did anything.
And it said it was causing the Earth to rot, but it didn't seem that the Earth had rotted thoroughly at this point.
No.
I feel like I could be totally making this up. Please, somebody, if you know the answer to this or what I'm talking about, explain it to me. In some game, the seas are literally rotten, so that you can't travel on them until something happens. And I feel like it's a Final Fantasy game.
Wait, is it Brave New Default?
Yeah, you're right. You're totally right. I think it is. Is that right?
I'm pretty sure that's right.
I think you're right. But that's kind of cool, too, actually, that that's a theme.
Yeah. I wonder if Andy can use the ice shield.
Oh, Andy. How do you call your little boy?
No, he can't. Brad can. Ooh, he can. Okay, so what is Brad?
I think that's like the ninja's deal, right? Like he can do everything except a couple items.
Maybe.
I feel like that's true. Also, the ninja doesn't have the throw ability or anything like that, does he? Like that's like his deal later on. Like the only reason you want ninjas is they can just throw shit.
Yeah, they kind of didn't do some of that stuff in this game. I feel like.
I think that's totally fair. You should drink some of your beer before it gets too warm.
It's got time.
Well, I just wanted
using a chilled glass from previous.
Just trying to give you some
occupation
beer time.
Well, here.
You want me to walk us down?
Yeah, would you mind?
Not at all.
You just want to take us back to that first floor and then continue going down.
Do you remember where?
Yeah, I can guide you.
Okay, cool. Now there's monsters.
So your staircase is top right.
Okay.
So you just go as up and as right as possible. And you can fight these guys because they've been giving us good experience.
Yeah.
And leveling up.
And we're not doing. Ooh, that looked really cool.
Wow.
What did you give him?
I don't even remember.
Oh, dude.
It
looked really cool. Yeah. It looked like a skimtar. You're right. Tony
like spread eagles over and over.
Cool. It kind of looks like he's wearing like a dancing leotard.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
because
he looks like he's part of a troupe.
The knees, yeah. It's really great.
That's funny.
I haven't watched Lisa's celebratory.
I haven't noticed it.
Yeah, that's.
I might have given him like a flame sword or something. Maybe that's what
I was gonna say. It looks pretty cool. Wow, Tony's so strong.
Yeah.
Oh, she just raises an arm.
It's not that cool.
No.
Looks like she kind of flicks off the corpses of the monsters. Like, fuck you.
That's hilarious, actually. True D&D fashion. Oh, man. Oh, okay. I'm going to try and remember this, and I'm probably going to not fucking remember it correctly. But
what's up?
There was an author. Holmes. The author. Okay, original D&D. After original Gygax author D&D, there were a variety of versions that came afterwards. And one of them was called Holmes Basic. It was like designed to be a simplified version of OD&D. But I was thinking of flicking off corpses. I was thinking of our D&D session where one of the characters like had sex with someone on a pile of corpses, and like how this seems to be a thing that's like, wow, that's really obscene. But I think it's John Eric Holmes who made the Blue Book Holmes edition.
And it's all the way left as the staircase down.
Thank you. There was an article he wrote because he was like a doctor or a psychologist or something like that. I'll get there. Ooh, we haven't seen sea trolls.
Whoa, sea trolls and lobsters.
Clearly just scorpions, but now lobsters, which is great.
You should use the Zeus gauntlet with Lisa.
Oh yeah, I'll do that. Okay. want to do this also. Which one is it? Light?
He can use Mage, which will do fire damage to everyone.
Yeah, let's do that.
She's got Zeus Gauntlet.
Yeah. Anyway, he was like a psychologist or something, he had a real job. So that's really cool. The animation for him casting spells is pretty cool.
It's pretty dope.
Because he kind of does a fist bump thing. Mm-hmm. But there was an article he wrote about kind of like the psychological appeal of the game. Mm-hmm. But in it, he kind of tells stories about what his characters do, and it's just total debauchery. They're just fucking each other and stealing things and breaking shit. And it's very vindicating because that seems to be how a lot of D&D games end up going. Yeah. But you expect when you think of Gygax or something that they played very seriously, rules based, and Gygax might have, but Holmes was just his campaigns.
You're poisoned.
His campaigns were pretty wild. So.
Yeah, I think. There's definitely certain groups of players who will be really true to their characters in a way that makes them to be very heroic. And then there's other people who will be very true to their characters in ways that are they're just real people. And this is an area of very little law enforcement or law at all. So you can just kind of do whatever the fuck you want. And if you could do whatever the fuck you want, and you were you had martial prowess, this is probably what you would do.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's kind of good nature. Wait, what? Up left? Oh, sorry.
You keep trying to go down. I don't know why.
I don't know. Just feeling down. You don't know. You start up, you go down. I don't know.
Man, now we're just hitting all kinds of sea trolls. What's up with that?
They were waiting for me. Ooh, gonna cast some fire. Ooh, gonna cast some Zeus.
Cast that.
But anyway, I thought that was really kind of a funny article. You can find it because I think it was published. He published it in a journal in his field, which is pretty funny.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. But then, there you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I know you were tempted to just keep pressing the button while the attacks were happening.
I listened to one of the previous videos and it's just me click, 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 click. I wanted to point that out because I'm just furiously nerd tapping the buttons I'm playing.
No self control.
No, I have I have a serious problem with button tapping. It's a little messed up. I don't know what the source of that is.
Oh, that's funny.
The ghosts. It took me a long time to have a reasonable understanding of the history of D&D and all of its versions because there's so many.
I still don't really get it, but
because some of them exist at the same time.
It's just very complicated. There's so much.
Right. Fuck. Because what is the? I already forget it. Basic edition. Hold on. Oh. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. Oh, yeah. If you want a brief rundown, Ryan.
Of course.
Original D&D. Colloquially known as, I think, Zero Edition or OD&D. Written by Gygax and had a couple of supplements. But then, there was the D&D basic set by John Eric Holmes, called colloquially known as the Blue Box Edition.
Mm-hmm. I've heard of that.
The one that we were playing we were playing Swords and Wizardry, which is a clone of Zero Edition D&D.
Okay.
However, a lot of the early rule sets kind of overlap to some degree, so you can kind of pull things from other versions, or one version might have rules for something that might be that might have specific rules for something that in another edition you might house rule or something like that. But we were kind of playing Moldvay. They're all named after the author, Tom Moldvay, which is a crazy name. Red Box. I know, it's kind of cool.
Red Box. Now that's a thing.
Well, Red Box, the art.
It's a thing that still gets sold.
You're correct. The Red Box edition, the art on it was repurposed for 4th edition. So they resold it. It's a different game entirely, but it was... Or it might have been either Molde or Menser, because there's the other Menser edition. And this all existed... They were kind of they were called Basic, as opposed to Advanced D&D, which was the Gygax authored version. But Advanced was way heavier in rules, because Gygax was very rules oriented.
Yeah.
Like his Dungeon Master's Guide and stuff is pretty nuts. It's very.
That was the thing that always kind of turned me a little bit off of D&D. Was how much intricacy there is to the rules and stuff, versus something like Vampire, which appealed a lot more to me because it is you only ever need D10s, and you can kind of just storytell your way through anything. So, like, you don't have to dice roll something if it's cool enough.
I definitely know where you're going. And the whole old school Renaissance thing that's kind of has been going on for some time is kind of in reaction against, I think, super mechanical. There's a phrase
and that was something I appreciated in our sessions too, is that you had that same mentality as the DM to be like, you know what, the thing that you just described is so awesome, it just succeeds.
yeah, and I think that was the idea with a lot of older rule sets. Gygax, he wanted you to play by his rule set, and like kind of considered it, you know, you weren't really playing his version. You weren't really playing D&D if you weren't following like his rules. But they got very complicated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool if you're into that kind of crunchy style, but
I'm not though. I don't want to look at 1,000 references to know what I can do.
And the weird thing is too, if you're familiar with like 2nd edition D&D, because a lot of the PC RPGs are based on it, like some of this stuff is crazy bonkers, non-intuitive. Like, are you familiar with Thaco?
Yes.
2-hit armor class 0, and it's like it's like negative numbers. Like the lower your Thaco, the better chance you have to hit.
That's also what turned me off a little bit of like the Baldur's Gate and Icewind Dale and all that stuff, because it was based partially.
It was based on 2nd edition. The first one to be based on 3rd edition, I think, was Temple of Elemental Evil.
And I had a really hard time with that. It was just like so unintuitive. I didn't understand what was happening.
Yeah,
and I was a dumb kid. Like I haven't. Let's be clear. I've not tried this stuff as an adult. That was a mistake. I like when I was doing this stuff was like junior high to high school.
Yeah. I guess to be fair, because I had 2nd edition books and stuff as a kid, so I might have had some facility with it.
I had no reference.
Like the manuals and stuff are like almost as dense as actual D&D manuals, because they walk through a lot of those rules. But it is intimidating if you're not familiar with it.
Yeah, that was my experience for sure.
3rd edition, I think, was more intelligible to people because it had like the higher your armor class, the better, rather than the lower your armor class, the better. The higher, even Thaco kind of confuses me to this day. Like I think with certain older systems, the idea was that you rolled and matched your number on a table, so it was like table based, rather than using like rolling it against a number on your character sheet. You know what I mean?
That reminds me, were you there for Josh's bachelor party when he showed us that crazy railway game where you like rolled dice for everything and compared to this enormous fucking
I wanted to die
spreadsheet table? It was just like, this is the worst game of all time.
Right.
This has got to just be the worst. Like,
see, the one, I think the saving grace too is like, even if the idea with I think a lot of OSR stuff when you're looking at even rules heavy RPGs is the idea is that you can take what you like and leave what you don't. So if the mechanic works for you, you can keep it. If not, you can create something else.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? It's a little bit more flexible. It's not like the game depends on you rolling on that spreadsheet, because that game was like just roll on the spreadsheet.
It was just rolling dice. Like I felt like there were just so few decision points.
It's terrible. Yeah.
I don't know. It was just brutal, and it seemed like a game like, here, we'll spend 6 hours and see who gets luckier. Like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Like, ugh.
Well, I
can't even remember what that. It was like Rail Baron or something.
Yeah, I think it was called Rail Baron.
But it was like Ticket to Ride, but like insanely 1,000 times more complicated and takes 5,000 times longer.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, like so, like if you know Ticket to Ride, which is a fun game, and I would like to play it again. It's like that, but insanely worse in every way.
Also, I think one of the cool things about old school Dungeons and Dragons in particular is that the rule sets were very personal, so that they were literally named after their actual authors, and their particular propensities were showed up in the rules and how the things were built. Like even in AD&D with Gygax looking super complicated with all these rules, there's famously, are you familiar with this? Appendix N.
I don't know that.
Okay. It's his literary inspiration for Dungeons and Dragons. It's his recommended fiction reading list. So it includes stuff like Lovecraft and Howard and stuff like that.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool, yeah.
It's cool that he would list that. That he would include that as a way for DMs to draw inspiration.
Even that, even though I'm what I've said what I've said, the idea was still that it was coming from this place of fascination and adventure, you know what I mean? And something that was that preceded the rules as an end. Like by the time you get to 3rd edition, like there's none of that personality really in the system anymore.
That's kind of disappointing.
Or at least that's my opinion. Like in the, I don't know, it feels more produced by a group than it does feel, I don't know, personal and hobbyist, which is kind of where it started. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm a big nerd for stuff like that. All the old modules I just am like nuts for. Like some of them are just so cool.
I think I would honestly find them more interesting to read than to play. I don't know if that's crazy, but
no, I could see that. One of the things I wanted to run for you guys was In Search of the Unknown, which was the module that came with original basic D&D.
Hey, it's a water. I was wondering if we were going to run into these guys.
Oh, it's kind of like, it looks like a...
It just looks like a little
What's
world.
that chip that's shaped like that?
Chip?
The chip. The snack food.
Oh, that's a bugle.
Bugle, yeah. It's the water bugle.
It's a water bugle.
Sorry, I'm blabbing about D&D.
You're fine.
Love it.
You fine?
Love it. I love it so much.
Yeah, D&D's cool.
Whoa! Wow.
Nailed them.
It really exerts this like huge power over my imagination. So like stuff like this, I don't know. It's really like one of those formative things for me. Like, yeah, it has
and that
sculpted
is
my
one of the things
consciousness.
that's more hugely different between us is that it's just like totally not. It's a thing I pursued as an adult.
Yeah.
And very casually, not at all when I was a kid though. Like it was just not part of my world.
Yeah. The weird thing is, like, I never really played as a kid, like, because I didn't have friends.
It's tragic.
Such a tragedy. But you know what I mean. I imagine that I'm not the only. Like, I had a ton of Palladium. Do you know Palladium? They were an RPG company. I think they're still around. They do Rifts.
Rifts.
It's like a post-apocalyptic world where ley lines open on the earth.
I know that. Yeah.
There's tons of books though, like, cause it's like different countries and shit. Like, it's a really cool world. It's very strange. Like, it's very clear that the people, the guy, I think I liked it too because it's a very personal authorship. Kevin Simedia or whatever his name is. Like, he like wrote it, did the art. Like, clearly a huge anime nerd because they did like a Macross role-playing game and Robotech and stuff like this back in the day, which was pretty cool. I think the thing that they started with was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They did it called After the Bomb role-playing game, and it was like
that's crazy.
Well, it's cool. I was thinking if we ever like restart a group, After the Bomb would be really cool because you create a mutant animal hybrid as your character. I feel like based on rolling on tables.
I have a very vague memory of you maybe telling me something about
I always
this.
wanted to play it because I thought it was the coolest shit. Because I love mutants, as we probably talked about.
Yeah.
I like
this is a
mutants.
known quantity. I like mutants. What do you want from?
What do you want? Water beagle. Oh, crap
Just
ton
a
of mummies.
shitload of mummies.